The Takeaway with me, your host, Munif Saza. And I used to have this really nifty video overlay, and I think I lost it. I think it's gone forever. So we don't have video overlays. I used to have one. I used to stream a little bit on not Restream. It was something else. It was StreamYard. That's what it was. There was a really cool video overlay with like awesome music that made me beat my head to on StreamYard, but that's gone. I don't have StreamYard anymore. I switched to Restream, and I'm not exactly sure if I love a Restream. So, because it makes you make your own video overlays, and I don't know. But we're not here to talk about video overlays or Restream or StreamYard or my streaming platform. We're here to talk about raps. And today I have a very special guest. It is Chai, a good friend of mine. What's up, Chai? How are you, man?
Good. I'm I'm just a little bit messed up with yelling at my kids and everything, but just bear with
That's okay. It's amazing thing to have kids to yell at. I can't wait till I have my kids of my own to yell at.
me. No, yeah,
I don't have.
I think I a little bit. I think I got some. It's not that bad.
You got sick. You're a little under the weather. You caught something
Yeah,
from the kids.
I mean, I was over the weekend. It's not that bad. My kids thing from them. It's
Hmm.
it's good.
Okay, cool. So you're driving home right now?
I'm like
I can hear the car.
probably 10 minutes away.
Oh yeah, that's no problem. Awesome. So, mostly, this. So, for those of you watching the first time, some of you watched the last episode, and we're gonna do this on Mondays. We're gonna talk about wraps because wraps are so important in creative finance. You can essentially be the bank. You can buy a property in creative finance, sell it on creative finance. You can buy a property cash, sell it on creative finance. Heck, you can buy a property getting a mortgage. Literally, you going and qualifying for a mortgage and then selling it on a wrap and becoming the lender. And you're really arbitraging debt when you do this. And it's really cool stuff. So Chai and Prakash, I know Prakash can't make it today. I think he's got another engagement, but Chai is going to be here with us today to talk about finding buyers for your wraps because we made a poll, and out of all the people that voted, we had an overwhelmingly large amount of people vote that they wanted us to talk about how to find buyers for wraps. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So we've got some
Absolutely.
people here. We've got Nicole Tedder here. Yo, what's up, Munif? Yo, what's up, Nicole? How are you? So nice to see you in here. Super nice. I wonder who else is in the stream. We are going to be doing this every Monday at 3 p.m. Arizona time, AZ time, best time, hashtag. We're going to be doing this 3 p.m. every Monday at Arizona time to answer your questions about wraps, everything you want to know and you need to know about how to sell wraps in today's market. Now, for those of you watching, do me a favor, do me a big favor. Go ahead and shout out Chai for taking out time in his busy day. He's taking time away from his kids. He's super busy. He's feeling under the weather. He's not feeling his best, and he's still making time to teach you about rap. So do me a favor, make a post, make a comment, tag Chai on Instagram or on Facebook, and just shout him out. Show him some love, just so people know how awesome he is for being here. He's not charging you any money. He's not charging me any money. He's doing this absolutely for free. He's taking his business, which he doesn't have to share with you. He's taking his business and he's going to do a deep dive on how he finds buyers in his business, which does a ton of business. All right. So, Chai, thank you so much for making time for us. I know you're really busy.
Thank you,
Can you tell
everyone.
us your experience? Yeah, man. Can you tell us your experience in finding buyers for wraps? Because that was the number one thing that most people had an opinion on that they wanted to see more of?
Yeah, absolutely. Finding buyers. This for the record, that finding probably not the most no, but it is the in your process in order in
Chai,
strategy
it's going
in
in
your
and out.
business.
We're hearing every third word you're saying, but it sounds like you're saying finding buyers, spending time finding buyers is not the most time effective strategy in your business. Is that what you said?
Uh, uh, can you?
It's in and out.
Okay. Uh, uh, I'm,
How,
I'm
how
gonna
far are
talk
you
and
from home?
see if it works.
How far are you
Go
from your house?
ahead. Like probably 7 minutes or so.
How about this? Why don't I talk a little bit
Yeah,
about my experience with finding buyers and
maybe 7 minutes talking about
yeah, yeah,
basic style. I'll be right there.
yeah, yeah. I'll talk about my experience because I have two wraps right now that I'm trying to sell, and it's been like a month tops for these wraps, and I'll talk a little bit about them and what I'm struggling with because I am struggling selling these wraps. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Super Saiyan Apollo. That is Goku. That's like Kid Goku from Dragon Ball. I'm on to you, Super Saiyan Apollo. That's definitely Kid Goku. That's not Goten, and that's definitely not Gohan. Gohan looked like he looked like a nerd when he was a kid. Jason says, "I can't see Chai. Is that normal?" Yeah, so Chai's not he's not at his computer right now, so he's driving. So I said, you know what, let's just wait for him to get home before he gets on because it can get really confusing. While you're waiting, uh, butter. No, he did the Doritos chip. Um, while you're waiting for Chai, we've got 15 of us here. Do me a favor, spread some love, shine some light on our good friend Chai for being here with us today. He's going to rush home. He's going to get on the computer. He's going to teach us how to find a buyer for our wraps. Do me a favor, tag Chai on Facebook or Instagram, whether it's in the Sub2 community or anywhere else. Tag Chai and let people know how awesome Chai is and that he's going to teach us how to find buyers in today's market, how to find buyers for your wraps. I've got questions on how to find buyers because I'm struggling with two of my wraps. I'm struggling on finding buyers for them. I locked up two deals. I closed escrow on them. They're both creative finance deals. One's a seller finance, one's a subject to. I want to sell both of them on wraps, and I have no freaking clue on how to do it. Nicole is so sweet. She says, "Be safe, Chai." So I really wanted to show Chai how thankful we are for him. So please, 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 go shout him out. Go tag him. I want to actually see the tag. So Chai is shouted out for being here. Nicole Tatter says, "Dope, can't wait. I'm wrapping my first deal and want to do more." Yeah, that's freaking awesome. I'm so glad we're doing this here with you. This is exactly where you need to be. If you're watching this is exactly what you need to be watching. I know this is what I need because I'm very much somebody who needs like a step by step. I can go figure stuff out, but wraps are not my first priority right now in my business. My first priority that takes 80 to 90% of my attention is my wholesaling business and acquisitions, training my team here at Ninja how to close deals, how to nurture leads, and how to prospect properly. That's my highest priority. So I don't have time talking to buyers. I probably talked to 20 or 30 buyers. Maybe I need to talk to 100 or 150. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep pushing. But having somebody like here, like Chai, to mentor us through finding buyers is going to be a lifesaver, especially if he's doing it for free. He could be charging us. He could have his own little mastermind or private Facebook group and do it that way. He said, "No, I'm going to do this for free." I want knowledge and education to be free and easily accessible for everybody. So I'm going to go here on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook and give this stuff away for free. So um, I just want everyone to know that Chai is freaking awesome. He's the man. Nicole says, Love's transaction coordination company is the bomb. So glad I hired them. Thank you. I will let Love know. Here. Let me. Let me call my wife. I'm going to tell her she's awesome.
Hello?
Hi, honey. Did you know you're awesome?
Hi, what's going on?
Oh, we're on stream, and Nicole Tedder says Love's TC company is the bomb. I'm so glad I hired them.
Aw, that's so amazing. She's so great.
You are the best transaction coordinator I've ever met. You're so good.
I love you, baby. Thank you.
I love you too. You're so good. I just love hearing you talk to people's sellers and just walk them through these complicated contracts. They always sign. It's amazing watching you work.
It's just making me feel comfortable.
Oh, you're so good at that. You're
thank you.
you're the best at what you do. Love you, honey.
Thank you, honey. Have fun.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nicole, you're awesome. I'm so glad you have a deal. Is that the deal? Are you wrapping that deal, by the way? The deal is like the deal that Loves TCing. I think it's a creative deal. Are you guys wrapping that one? I am, but I'm selling it to my dad. Are you wrapping it to your dad? Are you making that interest money? That's awesome. I'm glad you're selling it to your dad. That's dope. Nice. That's sick. That's amazing. How cool is that? You're using creative finance to help keep a property in your family while your business stays profitable. That's amazing. I'm gonna do a test here. Let's see. Are people actually tagging Chai on being dope? I'm not seeing any posts about Chai. What's going on? What the heck? If I search Chai in the sub 2 group, where are all the posts? Are people really watching without just giving back? Really? Damn. That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame, guys. While Chai here is rushing to drive home to teach you more about finding buyers for your wrap deals, not even writing a post. It breaks my heart. No amount of Doritos is gonna make my heart feel better. Butter, bean butter, Doritos chip. Yeah, while we wait for Chai, take a minute. Go spread some love. Let people know they can watch it here. Here, the stream link is. Oh, here we go. Chai's name on Facebook. If you want to tag him, is this. He's got a long name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Tanya Fansalkar. I think that's how you pronounce it. I have no idea how to actually pronounce his name. If he was here and he could hear us and his connection was working, he'd probably teach me. He'd probably teach us. Yeah, I want to see your guys' post. I want to see you guys link the stream to let people know how to find their wrap buyers. While you guys do that, I'm gonna hydrate. Super Saiyan Apollo says, "What do you think of Grant Cardone?" That's an interesting question. I freaking love Grant Cardone. I think he's really, really smart. I think he knows what he's talking about. But it's like he's really he teaches mindset. He teaches real estate. He teaches raising private money. I mean, he's like this generation's Donald Trump. That's maybe one way to put it. Let's see. Am I seeing posts? Am I seeing posts? Are people tagging our boy? Nah, it's just me. I'm the only person here on Facebook tagging out Chai and shouting him out. Oh no, we have people from last week. Ah man. Oh, Nicole. Aha, Nicole. There you are. Look at you, Nicole. Shouting out Chai. Shouting out the stream. Wow. You know what? I stream for people like you, Nicole. You're amazing. What advice do you have for a 16-year-old wanting to get into real estate? Invest in your education. That's my advice. Figure out what's the what skill set you can learn in this business that suits you, suits your character traits, suits your personality, suits your aptitude. Figure out what skill set you can learn. And if you start learning that skill set now for 2 years straight, I promise you that will pay you dividends. By the time you're 18, you'll be able to leverage that skill, network with people, and then use that skill to make you a ton of money. So if you're really brainy and smart and you like systems and processes, I would, learn how to lead generate. If you're really good at like numbers and marketing and data, I would figure out lead gen. If you're good with people and you like to talk to people and you're really friendly and outgoing and charismatic, I would figure out sales, real estate sales, how to close a deal. There's all kinds of different avenues to break down, but those are like two big ones, like data, lead generation, or sales. I would master. I'd spend maybe 2 years, maybe reading every book I could find on that subject, learning everything I could learn on that subject, and then I would focus on that. Nicole says, "Sorry, I got a little climbing on me while trying to post." No worries. That's dope. Excellent. I'm gonna do a test here. Let's see. Jesus. I had my Facebook open, and then I heard myself twice. So here's a challenge with Restream and Facebook. The challenge with Restream and Facebook is I can't see your Facebook comments in my overlay. So for me to see your Facebook comments, I have to actually open a separate Facebook tab. And then for me to see the comments, I actually have to open the Facebook live stream of myself and then respond to the comments. And sometimes it's me talking to myself from the Facebook live stream, and then you can hear it echo in this. So it's a whole mess. I hope live stream, Restream fixes it. Excellent. Okay. I've got a couple more people who shouted out Chowie. Thank you. I'm going to tell you guys a story about my wraps. So I bought a deal. I have 2 deals actually that I bought. One is in Covington, Virginia. It's a rural area and it's an unfinished house. The second is a mostly finished house in Cleveland, Ohio. About the Cleveland property subject to, and the Virginia property on seller finance. And my goal on both of them is to wrap them. I want to collect a down payment from the buyer. I want to collect monthly payments from the buyer. And I want to have some kind of a security. My security being a deed of trust, down payment, a good interest rate for me so I can get the monthly payments and cash flow. And what I've been doing is I've been promoting my wraps on Facebook Marketplace Craigslist, Zillow, all of those things. And I've noticed Facebook Marketplace took my wraps down. It's really hard. They keep coming after me they're saying I'm violating their policies. So they keep taking my wraps down. Zillow has been good. I put it on Zillow and I've been getting a lot of leads that way. Some from Craigslist, but mostly from Zillow. And just a few from Facebook Marketplace. Every time it gets taken down, I push it back up. I've been talking to these buyers, and what I've noticed is a lot of them aren't really serious. They're, renters looking to maybe rent or looking for maybe a rent to own, but their down payments are like $2,000 or $5,000. Somebody who's got $30,000 to put down, uh, they're not really interested in the house after they see it, or maybe they are interested in the house, and I set an appointment for them to see it, and they actually don't go to the appointment, and it's like a virtual appointment. So I'm like telling them to meet somebody at a certain time, and my guy goes there, but the buyer doesn't go, and it's like a whole mess of stuff. And I'm like, what's going on? So it's been a month already. I haven't been able to sell these wraps. And somebody told me the average wrap takes about 3 months to sell. So I'm not giving up and I'm not discouraged, but I'm like, I wonder if there's a better way. So Chai tells me, hey, no, there is a better way. We've went through exactly what you're going through, and we found a much better way, a faster, more efficient, more effective, more lucrative way to sell wraps. And look what we got here. What's up, Chai?
Hey guys, terrible connection. So sorry.
No, you're good. We were just hanging out while
I'm
we're waiting.
used to Zoom and I use Zoom like flawlessly on my phone, and I don't know why Restream doesn't work. Lesson learned. Okay,
No,
and
no
thank you so
problem.
much for being patient, guys.
Thank you for being here. Seriously.
No, no,
Thank you
no.
so
I
much.
mean, so I'm here in my office now, so we can go over it. So
I just want to shout out a few people. We have Nicole Tedder, Anthony Krupa, Renee Lawrence, David Quezada. They all really went ahead and made
thank you,
posts and
guys.
stuff and tagged you. So I
That
really
means a lot.
appreciate them. I see those tags. I love that. That's like my currency. My currency is emotional currency. So
Yeah.
I
No,
see
no, same
people.
here, man. Same here.
You know
Thank
what
you
I
so
mean?
much for all the love, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys got. And I think Prakash might be joining shortly to his. So we have something going on here in Houston. His wife came down with some flu,
Oh,
and
sorry.
so he's busy with the kids' duties this evening. So, anyways, let's get back into it. And thank you all for patiently waiting. So here is what I was trying to say earlier, that while I know everyone voted in the favor of how to find buyers,
Yeah.
while that is how do I say this? Like, finding buyers, I won't say is the most important thing in this process of wrapping a property,
Mhm.
because there is so much more that goes into it. And it took me year and a half to learn, or probably even 2 years to understand the full extent of it and the meaning of it. But finding a buyer is probably the most critical step that will make or break your confidence in the strategy. Like, just like, if, like, take an example of wholesaling. We also have our wholesaling division. We don't focus on it as much. We build portfolio, that's our business. But back when we were focusing on wholesaling, having a cold caller, getting leads, putting it on paper, and then waiting for the buyer to actually close. So there is different stages in it, and everybody is so focused on uh, doing all the, like, acquisition work and getting it under contract. Like, this position is whole another, like, set of things.
Right.
And if you don't find that right buyer, sometimes you may be really bad at acquisition and lock up a property really high, but you are really good at disposition, and you will still succeed. So that's what I mean, where like if you don't have this end-to-end solution figured out, you will not get confident about. So I'm glad in a way that everybody voted in the favor of finding how to find buyers, and
Mhm.
that's a great topic. And once you have that tool, sharpened tool in your toolbox, I think the rest of the learning, you can go and pay for classes, learn all these things you can do with 100% confidence that you know how you are going to disposition this property. So I'll give you a little bit of background, like little bit of couple of our stories on how it went down. Like, so 2 years ago, I don't
Mhm.
know, I mean, how much you guys have followed Pace, but back when he first started his, I mean, this group, we are probably one of like first 20 people to join Sub 2, because we are associated with Wholesaling Inc. and we join every mentorship there is in Wholesaling Inc. And I mean, of course, Sub 2 has been one of the best ones there so far. And I mean, the community that Pace
Yeah,
has created, I think it's phenomenal. I mean, I think everybody can agree with that.
we can all
Uh,
agree with that.
but when we started, Pace, I mean, nobody in Sub 2 talks about rap as a strategy as much. I don't know why, but I guess that's why Munif and I decided to do this on a regular basis so people understand what it is. And I know it's complicated. I mean, it's not a one Zoom topic to discuss and go and get implement in your business. But back when Pace first started, he was pushing for this lawyer. His name is Scott Horn out
Mhm.
of Dallas. And Scott Horn used to do these free presentations that I think Pace paid for. And Scott would come out to different cities and like do these presentations. Scott came to Houston. I was like sitting on the like in the first row. I didn't know who Scott was. I was not that involved in Sub 2 to know what it is. And Scott mentioned like, I mean, in his like passing comments what wraps is, and I was like, why would you wrap a property? Like, if you hold it as a rental, you're gonna reap all the benefits of appreciation and depreciation and all the good stuff. And I literally like challenged him when without knowing who he is. And just a little bit about Scott has done over probably 1,000 or so wraps, and he has ran like one of the like biggest hard money companies in Texas. And I mean he's a big dog in Texas.
So I first of all, I know Scott Horn. I love Scott Horn. He's so funny. Like his
Yeah.
personality is amazing. I love that man. He's so knowledgeable. He's so nice. He's helping me with a few of my deals. I'm personally working through his company, Horn and Associates. And so you said something interesting, and I want to go back to that.
Yeah.
You said, why would you ever sell a property on a wrap? Why wouldn't you just keep it as a rental? And let's touch on that a little bit. So when you own a property as a rental, you're the owner. You get the rent, which is cool, but you have usually a mortgage you're paying or something on the back end. You've got income, but then you've got debt service, you've got maintenance, you've got repairs, and you've got liability, meaning that if something happens, you're in charge, you're responsible. If a toilet breaks, you have to fix it. And that is offset. Those liabilities and those risks are offset by maybe if the market does really well, your asset is worth a lot more. So you get the appreciation and you get the tax benefits. So those are really amazing things. And when you sell a property on a wrap, meaning when you sell it on seller finance or owner finance or whatever you want to call it, but you sell it on financing, you no longer own the property. You don't get the benefits of appreciation. You don't get the benefits of depreciation. So you're missing out on the market going up. You're missing out on tax benefits. But you're making up for it because you're getting a large chunk of cash as a down payment, and you're getting cash flow every month because somebody's making a mortgage payment to you as the bank. So is that about right? Did I catch those
Yeah,
differences?
yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for breaking that down. And I'm sorry, I can go a little bit faster on certain things. And thanks for putting the brakes on that. So, what Munif was saying is, let's say, I'm going to give you an example. If you have a rental and your mortgage, I mean, sorry, the value of the property is roughly like $200,000
Mhm.
and your cash flow per month is $250.
Okay.
That's a typical American rental. Okay.
Okay.
$250 a month multiplied by 12 months is $3,000, which is about point and a half, like 1.5% of your property value. Okay. Yes, when that property 10 years, 20, 30 years down the road, you're going to get all these benefits of appreciation, or every year on your taxes, you're going to get the benefits of depreciation, because according to American tax law, IRS allows you to depreciate the entire value of your property over 27.5 years. So that $250 that you make per month is almost 100% tax free. So that's the best part about rental. Okay. That $250 cash flow comes from an average of $1,500 to $1,600 per month rent. Okay. We run our business little bit relaxed, and I know there are very tight landlords out there who do a much better job in managing. But I mean, we don't try to make money by managing tighter, because managing tighter requires more time and more involvement, which
Mhm.
you're actually paying in your own time to save money. Okay. So in my on my I mean, on my books, in my monthly bookkeeping, we run our repair numbers. We are spending about 10% of the rent on an average, including vacancies, any capital expenses, day-to-day maintenance. So for a $1,600 rent per month, we are spending about $160 on maintenance, which
Okay.
I know a lot of people here will question and, oh, that's too high. But again, that's just the way we roll, because we don't want to get ourselves involved on a day to day of rentals too much. So we'll rather just send someone get it done.
Okay.
Uh, and we don't have management costs, by the way, because we in-house manage everything. So that's why we are okay with that. People who have management costs, they are paying more than that. Okay.
Mhm.
So for a $250 cash flow, let's say even in a best case scenario, you have $350, $400 cash flow. You're
Mhm.
still not making more than $200, $250 a month on that house. So you're
Mhm.
netting around 1.5 to 2% of the property value in cash flow, no more than that. Maybe in some cases you bought it really deep. I mean, if you add all the um, uh, I mean, creative angles to that deal, then yeah, I'm sure you can make a killing even in a rental. But
Mhm.
I'm just talking about a normal rental. Okay. So now, if you forget about rental for a second, and I did not think about all these numbers while I was talking to Scott, and I mean, idiot that I was, did not know who Scott was. So I literally challenged him, hey, why would you do that? And at that time, it was COVID. Okay.
Mhm.
So during COVID, property prices were going up like never before, right?
Right.
Just we have seen in Houston like 20-25% property price increase. Okay. I'm sure, I mean, some bigger markets like Phoenix may have seen more, but what goes up goes down. So you're all seeing it, it's coming down right now. So appreciation is a long-term game. What you see over 1 or 2 year period doesn't stay that way the next year after. So now park that rental topic for a second and talk about wrap. If I were to wrap that same 200,000 house, let's say during COVID, when the interest rates were ridiculously low, like 3%. We have refinanced probably 25 properties last year with
Mhm.
3% interest rate. Okay, that's like free money to me. Um, and if you wrap that property, even on the low side, okay, in your marketplace right now, interest rates are high, so the wrap interest rates are also high. We are wrapping everything at 11.5%, 12% in some cases. But back when it was COVID, interest rates were low. People were wrapping properties around 9%, 9.5%. If you have a rental property that you converted to a wrap, you are creating a spread for yourself from 3% interest that you are paying to the bank and 9.5% you are collecting from the buyer. That's 6.5 freaking percent. That's 4.5 times more than what you're making in your rental.
Wow.
Headache free. You don't get any calls. You don't get any. Nobody's calling you in the middle of the night if the toilet breaks, or nobody's calling me if there is like Texas freezes over like it did last year. So nobody's calling me for anything because guess what? I'm not your landlord. I'm your banker, and banks don't work at night. And banks don't work during the day either if you don't have an active loan.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm
So
not your landlord. I'm your banker, and banks don't work at night.
so
That's
guess
awesome.
what? Like call your mommy if you have to, like if you want to cry over it. But so again, great, 4 times more cash flow is great, but there is one thing we are missing here is we are not going to see, we are not and banks don't work at we are not going to see the appreciation, let's say 30 years. I mean, if you really want to be a landlord, if you really want that appreciation, you will get it over 20-30 year period if you wait that long. um, but average appreciation in any marketplace across US, and except for some crazy like places like New York or San Francisco where cash flow doesn't exist anyways, you're gonna get no more than 3 to 4% appreciation year over year, uh, over like 20-30 year period. So you have that 1.5% with a lot of headache versus 6% with no headache, and you're also covering for all that appreciation that happens over 30 years. It frees up so much of your time, it frees up so much of your energy, because as a landlord it burns you out. People who have managed more than 10-15 rentals will agree with me here that landlord, being a landlord burns you out, and then you go towards all these government programs which pay on time, but you get really bad quality tenants,
Yeah.
and then you have other problems, or you go into single family, I'm sorry, short term rentals, and you have other problems there. So management of a single family property is always going to come with its own, like its own issues, right? So wrap is the only strategy in the single family real estate that allows you to like literally remove yourself out of the equation. Okay,
Makes sense. So
that's and that
that's genius.
yeah.
That's genius. So, you know, um, Super Santa Polo says, so earning rent through multifamily homes is bad. No, he's not saying it's bad. He's saying it's a different strategy. So he's saying, he's just looking at the number. He's saying, look, if you look at rental income, and this is also single family, by the way, multifamily is a different beast. It's a different beast. So the stuff you're learning from Grant Cardone, it doesn't really apply necessarily here because it's just a different. What Grant does is he buys multifamily, he makes improvements, and then he raises rents and then refinances and pulls a ton
Yeah.
of money. It's a different, totally different beast, totally different asset class. We're talking about single family homes. And so when you own a house, let's say it's one house, and you can decide if you keep it as a rental, you might make a percent or percent and a half of profit. When I say a percent, what's the percent of? Percent of the value of the house. You might make a percent or 1.5%, let's say one to maybe 2%, maybe, just in the rental cash flow. And then on average, the value of the house will go up 4% a year. And what Chai is saying, look, 1.5% plus 4 is
5.5. Yeah.
5.5%. 1.5 plus 4 is 5.5%, maybe 6%, let's say. 6% is what you're making at the end of the day by keeping a rental. That's your return on investment, where the investment is the total value of the house. What Chai is saying is on a wrap, your spread is usually 6.5% or more, the low side.
Well, that was during COVID, I would say.
That was during
Today it's shrinking,
Okay.
but so is the cash flow on rentals. In fact,
Okay.
on rentals, there is no cash flow.
It's
today.
negative cash flowing. So it's adjusting. They're both adjusting the
Yeah.
same rate, let's say.
So
But let's
4
say,
times of 0 is still 4. Right?
or negative,
Yeah,
it can be
negative
negative 100. So you have to look at those numbers. And the real estate market, by the way, right now is not appreciating; it's going down. So you have to look at those numbers. So what he's saying is, let's say during COVID times, you were making 6.5% on the low end. So you're beating appreciation and you're beating the rental income. So you're making a ton of money. But what's amazing here is you get your attention back, because your return on your attention is something I like to call return on attention is massive.
Yeah.
These small little problems, they can add up, and now your focus and your attention is diffused. It's not concentrated, it's diffused and dispersed, and that has a real cost associated with it. There's different words like opportunity cost. People call that opportunity cost. When you're focused on opportunities, you're missing out on other opportunities. So that's a real trade-off to make. So it's not good or bad.
There is a
Strategies.
There is a multi-millionaire real estate investor in Houston who bought a 60-unit apartment from us last year. And he told me a very simple calculation we all forget every day to day is your time. If you want to make $1 million a year, and if there is 200 days or so working days in a year, your hourly cost is $500. That day, the light went off in my head, and since that day I have made so many changes in my house. Like, I don't want to be involved in anything but, I mean, certain things. I mean, me and my wife made a lot of changes in the house. I mean, me and my partner made a lot of changes in our business. But that is so true. Like, sometimes we spend so much time doing things that don't add value to anything in our life. We are just firefighting all the time. So that's where I think people who understand that, or people who want to get in the game of scaling, will appreciate wraps every day over and everything else. And again, I'm not saying, or I'm not discounting burst strategy. I'm not saying rentals is bad. Depending on where you are at in your investment career, I highly recommend you do that. I highly recommend you go get a rental and work with tenants, work with contractors. I mean, work with maintenance guys. I mean, you need to develop that experience for you to appreciate other things. I mean, and also sometimes, I mean, rap will take up so much of your time learning all these financial things. You may not have time. You have couple deals on hand. You need to make it happen, and the only strategy is rental. So go with it. There is nothing wrong in it.
Awesome. And I noticed that Caroline Kane is in here. Caroline, you're awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Let's restart our podcast, by the way. Me and Caroline used to have an awesome podcast called What's Your Problem? Where we'd stream it here on Twitch. So I'd love to restart. You saw that? You saw the podcast? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, I was just saying, I mean, I hope Caroline remembers me. I met her once at the Clever Summit.
Oh, you met her at Clever? Yeah, she's so good. I'm sure she remembers you. She's got one of those photographic memories for
Yeah.
So I also
Cool.
saw Brent. I think Brent's in here. Brent Daniels is in here watching on Facebook. Brent, if you're watching, I love you, brother. Can't wait to see you soon. Um, before we answer any more questions, let's talk a little bit about finding wrap buyers.
Yes.
I've been struggling with this myself, Chai. This has been a major, major struggle for me. I've had a wrap for one of them. I've had for 5 weeks. One of them I've had for a little bit less. One's in a rural area. I haven't fixed it up. I haven't done anything to it. I bought it on seller finance for $1,000 down, and then 4,000 is due. Whenever I want to buy it, I just write them a check for 4,000. And then the first one is in Ohio. It's in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a subject to deal I bought. I'm direct to seller, and I'm making the mortgage payments every month. There's a huge spread there because the mortgage payments are like $600 and rent is like 1,800. And I haven't been able to sell it on a wrap. I've been having trouble. I've been talking to wrap buyers almost every day. Some people don't have the money for the down payment.
Yeah.
Some people are not interested in buying a house. Some people have the money for the down payment, but they don't show up to the appointment to see the house. Some people show up to the appointment to see the house. They don't like the house. They don't buy the house. So
Yeah.
this is what I've been dealing with. Can you tell us a little bit about you when you started your first rap journey? Can you tell us about your first rap?
So the first rap, like, funny enough, that we have done rap before I even saw Scott, and I didn't even know it's called rap. I mean, well, I kind of knew, but I didn't know it was like this. I mean, crazy good strategy back then. So we had this mobile home. We didn't know a thing about mobile homes. We were scared of mobile homes that depreciate in value. All the bad things people told us. This lady wanted like $55,000. We negotiated her down to maybe 49, and we had just started our PPC campaign. It's
Mhm.
pay per click Google AdWord campaign, which is very, very expensive in Houston, just crazy bad. So just to make that campaign successful, we were like, let's jump into this, buy this thing, and figure something out, make some money, and pay for the campaign.
Okay.
That was the idea why we bought that property. And little did we know. So I went, drove to the property. We put a positive spin on it. Oh, this is a big house, great. I'm sure we'll find something, whatever. So we just, I mean, took a huge risk.
Mhm.
And literally driving out of that neighborhood, there was a bandit sign by one of these brokers that we still work with. And I just happened to call the guy, hey, look, we have this house, and can you, I mean, do you buy mobile homes? I thought they are buying. Okay, I didn't know. Uh, I mean, they are the ones who help you find buyers or whatever. So I just called them. He's like, yeah, 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 I'm sure I can help you with that. And of course, he didn't tell me whole deal what it is. So I just gave him the address. He looked at it. I mean, I guess 5 or 7 days later, he's like, "Oh yeah, I got it sold." I was like, "How much?"
No way.
110. I was like, "Holy shit! Are you serious? Like 110? That's over like 100% profit in that
Yeah.
deal." But he's like, "Oh no, no, but that buyer is gonna pay you 10% down payment, and the rest like comes over time." I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." So we just went with that. No, like ever since, not a single, I mean, it's been 3 years, not a single payment has missed. I mean, great buyer, put down like, I think, I mean, he put down like $10,000 on a house after paying the guy, I mean, paying his agent and paying closing costs. We netted like $500 in hand. So it was still a risk even in that strategy, but we just went with it. And 2 years later, we realized, oh wow, this is such a cool thing. Um, and we then like right after that, we had another seller of the house. He sold their house to us at a really good price. But the caveat was that we find them a house and owner finance it to them. So as part of buying their house, we ended up creating another wrap. I mean, it was not never our strategy. So we have two wraps, and then there was this very oddball property we had, and some buyer just turned up. So we had like 3 wraps for we are sitting on for 3 years, did not do anything after that. Then I met Scott, that happened. And then this year, when the interest, I mean, that conversation with Scott happened like year and a half ago,
Mhm.
where like I made fun of him, and then I don't know, like I think I was the one who looked like a fool, but I still believed in my strategy. I didn't do any wraps back then, and we just picked up like a shit ton of rentals in 1 year. Like we picked up 35 rentals or something last year. So we picked up a lot of rentals. I'm very happy about that. Again, we did not, I mean, we did plan in a way because the sellers were still selling at pre-COVID prices, and COVID was just pushing the prices up. So all those 20, 30, 35 rentals we picked up, they all went up probably 100 grand in price during COVID.
Wow.
So now is the time this year when now we cannot buy anything outside that is going to make sense from cash flow perspective. Then we took a deeper dive into this thing, went and met Scott and had like 3 hour long discussion with him. And then just, I mean, that was it. Like after that, we just went with it. And we decided to convert all the rentals we have into owner finance. So we are going one at a time with that. So the first one we listed ourselves. That one sat on the market over 60 days. Okay. Not a
Wow.
single buyer. And and the reason we listed is because we had this another wholesale deal, and that was in the country area. Okay. In the country, as in it was
This
on
was a
a maybe,
wholesale deal you bought in cash,
yeah,
listed on
and that was
MLS.
in country like area like
Rural.
outside of Houston, on a 3/4 of an acre lot, and a mobile home with extended slab build. So very like complicated, weird structure, and there was not much strategy we had. So we listed it and just clicked the option for owner financing. I mean, every MLS has that option in most states.
Mhm.
We clicked it, and little did we know, just I mean, the calls kept coming uh, about owner finance only. Like we did get like maybe couple offers here and there. Uh, I mean, with just regular buyers, but mostly owner finance buyers. And we were like thrilled, man, this shit works. Like this is so good. And with that experience, we were like, oh, okay, we got to just list it, click owner finance. That's
Right.
it.
That's
Calls
what
will,
I thought.
yeah. So of course, the next one we listed in the city on a smaller lot, and just a regular cookie cutter neighborhood. Not a single 60 days. Nobody is interested in owner finance. Whoever is interested comes with a realtor, and that realtor does not know what owner finance means, does not know how to calculate interest, doesn't know why it's 10% plus interest rate. So it's so much education that now it's indirect education. You don't know who the buyer is. You're going to train the realtor who is going to train the buyer. So it's so much filtered knowledge, it almost always gets lost. Like all the buyers, and I mean, I'm just going to touch on your Cleveland, Ohio deal a little bit here.
Yeah.
So we are in Houston market. Okay. Houston is like very close to Mexico.
Right.
Houston filled with Hispanics. Okay.
Okay.
And Houston is also a bigger, like major metro.
Right.
So I mean, there is no like I mean, there is no you can owner finance with everybody, but in general, especially in Houston, it is very popular among Hispanics. They understand it. They have friends who have done it,
Mhm.
and there is a very good reason why they need it. And there is also a very good like income that they can back it up with. Okay. Places like Ohio have other issues. There is a lot of low income areas. Also there is I don't know, there is because of low income, and I don't know what other like jobs there is, what
Mhm.
demographics that is. So you need to learn your own demographic.
Mhm.
And when I say you need to learn, that's where it gets difficult to find buyers. Okay. I'm going to contradict myself. When I say you need to learn, I mean you need to find a way to learn faster. That's by hiring a broker who knows what they're doing in that area.
Hiring a broker. That's what I'm
Okay.
writing down.
And there is always like ton of brokers in every city who specialize in owner finance. uh, and when owner finance is like a can of worms, when you open it, there is just, I mean, you can go down different rabbit holes and the learning never stops. It's just weird like that. So you gotta go with your gut feeling. I mean, you can by mistake get with wrong people and they can hook you up on the wrong strategies. So you have to be very careful who you associate yourself with. Okay. So this property in a cookie cutter neighborhood that I was talking about sat on the market 60 days, and then we hired a realtor who was referred to us by someone who works for another owner finance company,
Mhm.
and who knew like he can help us, but he does not have a license. So he gave her his sister's number, who is a realtor. So they came as a team to help us. Even then, I mean, it kind of helped us a little bit on other things, other
Right.
properties. After that 60 days, that property sat on the market another 30 days with this lady. She was really nice. She had all the good intentions. She was a Spanish speaker, because a lot of our clients are Spanish. So
Right.
we just went with that gut feeling. Still did not work out. So
Hmm.
after that, we just happened to call that guy from our first accidental like bandit sign call from the first mobile home, and he turned out to be a seasoned owner finance broker,
Wow.
and he got that property sold within like 15 days.
So you're telling me 2 months, you tried
Yeah.
yourself, no luck. You call the first guy that you happen to call for the first deal years ago,
Yeah.
find out he's really experienced in finding creative finance deals for his community because he's a Spanish speaker, he's Hispanic. He's good
Yeah.
at finding homes for people in his community who have a hard time qualifying for traditional financing.
Yeah.
So they have to go for unconventional or non-traditional financing such as
Yeah.
wraps. And so he knows the community. He understands the math. He understands the real estate. He's seasoned. He's a broker. He's got a license. So you call him up, and he takes 2 weeks to sell the house.
Yep. And
That's
then we
amazing.
gave him three properties. One property he sold in one day. I mean, not even one day, 4 hours. Another property he sold in like maybe another week, 10 days or whatever. He's
Wow.
just been like crazy fast, like after that. But again, is changing every day. We have the same strategy. I mean, we also have operations in San Antonio and Dallas. We just picked up like, I mean, two properties recently in San Antonio. It's a newer market for us. We don't know
Mhm.
all the brokers yet. It's a little bit of a learning curve there. The broker we thought was I mean, super knowledgeable in that market is not really working out. But it could
Mm,
be a combination of market changes, and again, we are also getting feedback from our guy here that the lead volume is shrinking rapidly because everybody is like waiting out on buying a house because everybody's expecting market to go down further. So
mm.
it's not always just one variable you need to fix and things are going to work out. So that's why, I mean, I said finding buyers is not the only thing that is going to make you successful. However, it's the probably the most critical thing for your confidence in your investment of your time or money in learning owner finance.
That's awesome.
That's how I will put
Got it.
it.
We've got Prakash here. I think he just joined just now. Appreciate you, Prakash. I know you've got some stuff going on. Glad you were able to make some time for us today.
Hey guys, thanks for letting me in. Good conversation there. Yeah, I had some personal. My wife is a little bit under the weather, so I had to pick up the kids from the school.
Seems like there's like a bug that's going around in Houston, spreading through the kids
Yeah,
and
real
stuff.
bad, man.
Yeah. So I heard I heard the last 15 minutes of it. Chai got into good details, and something that I would like to add in addition to what Chai mentioned. Knowing people and underwriting the deals is also very important. We can do a separate Zoom for it. What we have learned that 70 to 80% of the buyers, they want the payment to be between 2,000 to 2,500, and that's where most of the buyers are comfortable at. So if you pick up a house at $500,000 thinking that it's going to wrap at 11%, probably very difficult to happen. But
Mm.
that's for a later discussion. Maybe we can have a separate call of underwriting and what we buy and what we wrap.
Yeah.
I
So,
see. That makes sense.
I mean, I was going to talk about that limit on your market. So there is no like guideline by uh, like FHA or anything here. It's like, it's all open source knowledge,
Mm.
right? What Prakash said is very critical. Like in finding a buyer, you need to know your market first. And when I say you need to know, you need to find people who know the market, because
Mm.
in sub 2 community, we all work in different states, different cities. You're not gonna know everything about everything, and there is no need.
Mm.
I mean, that's not scaling mentality either. uh,
Mm.
so for Houston, most properties that will wrap at a good interest rate and cash flow well, they're all anywhere between 200 to 250. Anytime the parcel pushes up, it's gonna stretch the budget for any buyer. So when you are at 250,000, that's a sweet spot deal today. Okay. Or maybe it has been sweet spot for maybe last 2-3 years. That's it. Before that it was different. After this it's going to be different. Today, 250,000 deal with 25 to 40,000 down payment is gonna create a payment of about 22 to 2,500 per month, depending on what area the house is in, how much the taxes are, how much the insurance is, whether it's in flood zone, whether it's in wind zone, whatever. So 2,500 seems to be the limit for where after that you start losing a lot of buyers.
So
Uh,
what if I have a deal right now that somebody literally just sent me while we're on this stream? One of my friends, Tracy, she's one of my friends and business partners on our multifamily Airbnb acquisitions, sent me a deal in Texas, and said, "Hey, would this be good for a wrap? Could I bring it up? Could I bring the deal up?" She got it in
yeah,
her email
go.
inbox.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we can talk about our opinion and what we would do with it. There are buyers at higher price point. It just gets difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can share this. Here we go. So can you guys see this deal here?
Yeah.
Can you make it a little bit bigger? Maybe
Yeah,
full.
I'm gonna see if I can full screen it and then zoom in. Okay. Do not miss out on this hot deal. Here's the address. Creative deal sub 2, no renovations needed. This property sits in a great location for short or long term rentals. This is stuff. Me and my friends are getting emails like this every single day. So guys, if I don't want to hear any complaints that there are not enough creative deals on the market, there's a ton of creative deals every single day in the market. So if you're looking for a sub 2 or a seller finance deal to find, it's really easy to find these. Okay, creative deal, sub 2, no renovations needed. Property sits in a great location for short or long term rentals. Here's the mortgage balance. Here's the principal. Here's the interest. That's about $1,300 a month in P&I. Taxes and insurance. The wrap buyer pays that, right? Is that right?
Well, yeah,
Yes,
but
that's true. Yeah.
Okay, but if you're wrapping it and you're making the PITI payment, you're probably paying. Are you paying this twice?
I mean, we are paying it, then collecting it
Paying. Okay,
always.
that makes sense. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Interest rate's 5.5%. Price is 38K. I'm thinking this is like the down payment. I have to call this person to figure this out, but let's assume it's the down payment plus assignment fee. So is this even a deal? My gut tells me no because this price is too high.
So if we consider that there's no true repairs, right?
Okay.
So there are some positives, right? This is a 213 built house, so fairly new. So it should be in good condition. And if there are no repairs,
Mhm.
and then we have to go study the Killen market and see what kind of buyers we can find there. But considering this deal in Houston,
Mhm.
$38,000 if we are is our all-in cost, including closing costs. So 235 is the mortgage balance.
Mhm.
So I think we should be in Houston market. This is an excellent deal because we should
Really?
be. Yes.
Really? So you're telling me because the mortgage balance is 235, what would you sell this for?
So I'll sell it at ARV minus, ARV plus 10%. So let's assume it's at 250
Okay.
ARV. So we would market it at 265 ish,
Okay.
with the 10% down. 10 15% would
Minimum
be
10.
best. Yeah, 10% minimum, 15% would be ideal.
So what's 15% of 265? Let's see.
So you were
265
at 50
40,000.
grand.
is about
50.
$40,000. So you probably break even on the money you put in.
So not really, because you'll have to pay commission.
Oh, so you're net
Have to
negative.
pay commission on that side, and then holding cost while you find the buyer, fixing cost.
So
I
you are
see.
probably going to be $15,000 in, $15,000 to $20,000.
Okay,
Not
and
really.
what do you think we'd cash flow in if this was in Houston, let's say?
So we will wrap it for 11%. So your interest rate here is 5.5%. So we are looking at a 5%, 6% cash flow, which is going to be, so you're around 6 and 18, so around 22 to $24,000 in cash flow. So all your money is going to be out in year one.
So $22 to $24,000 you're making in profit in 1 year.
In 1 year. That's your difference between your interest rates.
And so when you look at a deal, because when I look at a deal, I look at, okay, um, I want to get my money out when I get my down payment. But you're not looking at it like that. You're looking at it like, yeah, I'm going to get some of my money back in my down payment, but I'm going to have some money left in, and I'm going to look at my return on investment left in the deal in the course of a year and say, okay, how long does it take me to get my money back? And if I get my money back in a year, that's actually really, really good.
The only way I think you can get it back in the down payment if you're direct to the seller.
I see. So when
And
yes, that makes sense. So when you're paying assignment fees, we have money tied up, but that's okay because we're a little bit more scaled in our business.
Yeah.
So we can afford to tie up a little bit of money where, that money that's tied up really goes in the commission for the wholesaler. But we've made money and we're not really needing that money right now. So we can wait a year and make money in the long run.
yes, and I'm sure the wholesaler, whoever is wholesaling this deal, if decides to keep it, and they might be able to be zero out of pocket, but there's an holding cost, there's a risk that it might not sell as quickly. So
Mhm.
everybody has a different strategy. The wholesaler might have the better use of the cash right now, assign it, and invest in their business. But for us, we are more of a buy and hold investors. We like to have the mailbox money, so we don't like to sell.
Mailbox money. I love that.
And this is, guys, this is true mailbox money. Literally. Like like you're pushing the parcel all the way to the end and becoming a banker, not the landlord. That's when it's true mailbox money. Whoever says, any landlord who says mailbox money is real, it's not. It's just not. That's why there is
We've been landlord for a
higher
long
landlord
time.
lists we pull, right? I mean, that's why there are landlords who are selling it at a great price.
my good friend Edgar Alexander is watching. Hi, Edgar. Hope you're well. He says, "How did you come up with the ARV? The ARV we just guessed for the deal. Look, let's just pretend it's 250K. We're just gonna add 10%. So let's say 260, 265.
And that 10% was working like every day, like until 6 months ago. Today we have to be a little bit, we have to bend a little bit because it's not, everybody is on the back foot. People know that buyers know they have more power now. So guess what? Even if you have to sell it at 250, no harm. Like you're still gonna make money.
Would you sell now, or let's say um, in this market, um, as we see house prices go down, if there's a good interest rate, are you willing to sell even below ARV if the interest rate's good?
Yeah.
So below ARV, yes, never below the mortgage
Never below the mortgage.
because even if you sell below mortgage because of the higher interest rate, you can make money. But if you have to sell the note,
It'll screw you. So
yeah,
that's something we can talk about later, like
yes,
creating this value in the wrap. So if you have to sell the note, you can actually pay off the underlying mortgage and then actually have money left over to keep.
yes.
So I'm just gonna, I just pulled it out of thin air right now, but I'm gonna put a slide together on what I'm gonna say now. These are all the variables in making that decision. Okay. House price, your equity in the deal, your underlying mortgage interest rate, the down payment from the buyer, which shows how stable they are, and what else? And the house itself. So these five, I may be missing one or two here and there, but these are the five variables you need to look at, like from, a distance, not one individually, all of them together. Does this make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, so we are going to give you an example of this deal. We bought it for $320,000,
Mhm.
4,000 square feet house, huge house with a like gorgeous pool, heated pool with, everything, all the bells and whistles you need. We put $35,000 into it, turned it into an Airbnb. In fact, Noah was here. We actually did a reel on it, and it actually lived up to the numbers as it is exactly. It was on the market 2 months. It did make us like almost 15 grand a month average. Great Airbnb, but the Airbnb business in Houston is just saturating too much.
Yeah.
And so 320 plus 35, and we have a friend, we were just trying this out with him. So he put his money, we paid him $25,000 just as an interest on his money. So all in we are 380,
375,
378. And we got a buyer for this house at $650,000.
Holy cow.
And we already closed the deal, by the way, but we were not like sure if this is real for a long time. So we went back and forth for a while, and we had to, like, they came, then they loved it, and they said okay, and then they went back home. They changed up on us, and they said, oh no, I need my payments to stay under this. And then we were like, oh no, it's not going to work. And that's when Prakash and I sat and like looked at all these 5 6 variables together. Okay, how much interest rate do we need to charge them in order to make sense of all this? Okay, it's a little bit complicated what I'm going to say now. Okay, but try to stop and break it down your way to the audience. We have 380,000 in the deal, and then we got a loan for 350,000 on that house. So we have 30,000 in the deal, 350 bank loan
Okay.
at 5.75% interest rates. Very high interest rate because we just like refinanced it recently. Now the deal sold for 650 freaking thousand. That's 300,000 equity we are capturing by selling the deal. So now, even if even if we sold that deal to a buyer at 5% interest rate, below our interest rate, okay, we are going to negative cash flow on the first 350,000, but we are going to make entire 5% on the 300,000 or above that. So this is the part that is a little bit complicated for the audience. But if everybody is following me up to here, even if we go down that much on the interest rate, 5% below my current interest rate, it's still going to cash flow. And the best part, I didn't tell you yet, that buyer put down $100,000 down payment. $100,000. Okay.
You made your 30K back, and then you made
So,
another 70K on
so
top of that.
again, we didn't give him 5%. I'm just using that as an example. We
Okay.
wrapped it for 8%, but
Jesus.
but now that 8% is going to create a positive cash flow on the first $350,000 note that we have. So 5.75, 8% minus 5.75 is 2.25% net difference. And then entire 8% on the 300,000 over the 350,000. So that's huge cash flow. And we have 100,000 down payment. So even if shit hits the fan tomorrow, the buyer just gives up on the house, we have to foreclose on them, we still have their $100,000 with us. They are going to think twice before they do anything. So this is where I say, like, you have to look at it from the 30,000 feet view, not like, you don't have to look at interest rate by itself or down payment by itself or house price by itself. So, and that market price for that house is probably in the 550s. So we got way above the market price. And I'm just gonna say the same thing what I said in the last Zoom, I mean the last call. A lot of people do. I mean, we went over the 10% in this case for good reason, and I mean, we can actually prove that prices can be stretched in that area. It's a very special area. We don't, however, like to push the parcel that much. That adds burden on the buyer. That restricts them to refinance it when they need to. It just creates, like, it just leaves bad taste in their mouth. I mean, it's just not a good business practice to sell houses 30, 40, 50% higher than market price. I'm just going to say that for the record. And that's not, we do not recommend it. Don't do it. But in this case, we are probably like 15% higher or 15 to 17% higher than market. And that can happen. So,
And we did that because our marketing, we were marketing at 10.9%. We first, to start with, we never wanted to sell it, but we were just marketing, if something happens. So it was listed at 10.99 or standard rate, and we gave them a 3% discount. And that's why we kind of buried that interest rate in the price so that their payments come down. Do you guys follow? So that their numbers work.
So basically, you realize, okay, I don't have to charge this person 10%. I can give them some slack on the interest, but sell it for a higher price. Is
Yes,
that what you're saying?
yes, that's what we did. So
Okay.
it's
You're flexible with your buyers, so you can adjust the purchase price, interest rate, and down payment, and make a specific deal catering to what that person can afford.
yes, and that's the best thing about this business. 90% of the buyers, when they come to our broker, or sometimes they come to us, they don't, how normally we talk about, hey, I want to buy a $300,000 house, that's my budget. In
Right.
owner financing world, it's a little bit different. They're like, I can pay $2,500 a month and I need to find a house.
Mm,
And then you calculate backwards, then how much house can you buy in what area they're looking at, And sometimes we can, we had this flexibility because this was a bigger house, but not every time we do not have that, right? If it's a sub 2 deal, or in some other case, we could not drop the interest rate, but in this
Yeah.
case it was okay.
In most 250,000 cookie cutter deals that we have, if we drop the interest rate and if the sub 2 note gets called, you're screwed, because now you gave someone a house at 8%. Yesterday I checked, interest rate for rental houses is 7.5%. And you don't even have the house when sub 2 note is called. You actually have a note. And when you try to collateralize the note, interest rate is even higher. So that interest rate will be more like 8.5 when you try to park that note with the bank. And you can, I mean, that's more advanced strategy anyways. But that's why you do not want to cut anyone's slack on the interest rate for cookie cutter houses. Okay.
Charge them the high
Because,
interest.
yeah, because you don't have any out. If the sub
Unless you
gets
have
called,
cash sitting in your bank,
yeah.
and
If
yeah,
you
and
have
you
like
will.
big investors by your side, maybe, but nobody would want to invest in that because it's a bad investment at that
It's a
point.
bad investment. Okay, that makes sense. So be cautious with your interest rates. You can be flexible a little bit on your price.
And
Um,
that's why finding buyers is the most critical thing. Like, I'm just trying to tie this variable, like view, looking at variables as one thing, and I'm just trying to tie it back to finding buyers. If you want to find that one gem of a buyer who's gonna do all this for you, you need to talk exactly what they want to hear. Literally exactly. If you deviate even slightly, they're gonna go home and get confused just like that, and they're gonna call you and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm really very scared. I don't want to buy this."
So, Chai mentioned, right, the first 60 days when the house was listed, we were not able to sell. Actually, I had that house listed, and I was not trained, right? Not everybody's trained how to communicate with those buyers. They need to feel comfortable, make things sound simple. It's not that we did not have offers, but it's like, when you're wholesaling, you're talking to sellers, right? They sell you the house because they like you, they trust you.
right.
Yeah.
The same thing applies when you're owner financing the houses. They want to make sure you're a trusted lender, so
Mm,
you and they feel comfortable with you. So it's that, and we don't do that on regular basis. There are brokers who they are calling every day, they're marketing every day, they have buyers ready. Some of the buyers that they buy the house, they didn't come today. Those brokers are working with them for 6 months or a year, so they
mm,
have that relationship established.
that makes
and
sense.
and that's why, the commission you pay them, it's at
It's worth
3%.
it.
That's what we
Yeah,
pay.
worth every penny. If someone asks me 4% commission, I will not hesitate.
Yeah.
If they know what they're doing. Like, we pay 3% in our market. I mean, mostly I think it's mostly common across the board.
Yeah.
But going back to that one house that Prakash like had really good experience on, out in the country, and which is why we thought it's so easy and we started doing it ourselves. The the reason that went so well is because it's in the country, and it's because it's sitting on almost an acre size lot. And in our market, the demographic that we have is majority Hispanic, and Hispanics value land a lot. They need bigger lots. Then they like to be out in the country. So you need to study your own demographic. And again, by you, I mean you need to know people who know and study that way. So if it's out in the country, I still wouldn't put it on the market myself anymore, because we just believe in volume. If you want to try it out, by all means. I mean, it might be easier if it has a bigger land to do it
So,
yourself.
as we wrap this up, I know we've been here for an hour and a half. So, thank you guys, both of you guys, Chai, Prakash, for jumping on, telling us and sharing us your experience with selling these wraps, finding buyers, using brokers who have been nurturing these relationships for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And then now you can leverage those relationships for your deals. That's genius. I really appreciate you. We all appreciate you. Guys, if you're watching, please, if you haven't made a post, haven't shouted out these two gentlemen, Chai and Prakash, please do so. Please tag them on Facebook, tag them on Instagram. Let the world know what they're doing. Guys, if I'm watching this and I've got a deal in Houston and I want to partner with you, well, are you guys open to partnering? Let's say I have a deal and I think it's a good fit for a wrap. Are you guys open to partnering with somebody who's watching this video who might reach out to you to maybe joint venture on a wrap so maybe they can learn how to do this for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I tell you what, 5 people from like this series, we will work with them all the way. We will use our own money. We will use all the techniques. All they need to bring is an address and pictures. We will evaluate it, underwrite it. Just let's do it.
Wait. I just want to make sure we all understand. So you're telling me somebody here sitting here right now, you're going to take 5 people who bring you a deal and you're going to fully fund that fee. So that 39,000 or whatever, say this deal needs 39,000 or 40,000, you're going to front the money and you're still going to partner with somebody who brings a deal?
Absolutely. And they will get a true mailbox money after the deal is actually done.
I have a question for you before we go. My question is, does that deal apply to me if I bring Rafts? Will you partner with
Yeah, of
me
course,
for
man.
hosting?
You're like, yeah, let's talk about the Killian deal that we just
Okay,
saw.
yeah, exactly. Because we've got that deal, and then we've got, I think, the one I showed, right? The one I showed, and then there's another one. So maybe we can do both. Maybe I can get this locked up. Let's talk. I'm excited. I'm super stoked, and maybe for the ones we do together, we can use them as case studies here on the takeaway, so people can
Perfect. Yeah.
actually see us do them. Maybe watch me talk to brokers because I've
No,
never
I
done.
mean, I also have some personal interest in, so we are not like influencers by the day like you, and we are not very famous like Mr. Munif
Oh,
Saza.
get out of here! Let's stop.
But we just want to like we just want to prove and put money where our mouth is, like
Mm.
by proving or creating those case studies. We Prakash and I, like, we spoke about this before coming on today. We really like, if we want to show that it works. I mean, we have done probably 10 or 12 wraps in last 2-3 months after like this light bulb went off, and we found these great brokers. And we can, I mean, we want to scale up. We want more partners. We want more people with us on this journey, and we want to show that it works. Really, it
I
does.
love that. That's so amazing. You guys are true go givers. My selfish reason I want to partner with you guys. I've got 2 reasons. One is a little bit of a selfish reason. It's I don't know how to do this. I'm freaking lost. I need your help. I know I've been trying to do this by myself. It's been a struggle. I really want somebody more experienced than me that can squat up with me and show me the ropes because that's tremendously valuable to me. And maybe I might not even get all this stuff on my first time. I might need to partner with you on 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 deals before I'm like, okay, I can take what I learned here and I can do it in Phoenix. But guess what? If there's any deals in Houston, I'm still going to partner with you because
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
have all the resources in Houston. And maybe if you guys have a deal in Phoenix and I get my stuff going in Phoenix, and you say, hey, Manny, if I got a deal in Phoenix, let's partner.
Exactly. I
Great.
mean,
And
more the
that's
merrier.
scalability. That's how you scale a business. So you don't have
If
to be
you
an expert in 5 different markets. What's that?
if you give me the permission to share, I just want to, like, I know I don't
Yeah,
want to take up too much time. I just want
sure.
to show just one spreadsheet. We put together this process, and I'm happy to share it with everyone here.
Oh,
I
wow.
just want to
That's so
show the
sweet.
extensive like list of actions that go into it. That's
Okay.
all.
Can you share screen? Is it letting you?
It's not today. It's not letting me. Last time it did.
What's going on?
I mean, we can talk about it next time. It's really not about buyers, but I just, since we are on the
No,
topic,
what are you seeing on your screen? Let me see.
I'm just seeing mic, camera, and
You don't see a
settings.
share screen? What we can do is next time we can
Yeah, for sure.
go over your spreadsheet. What is it? It's all the steps. Why don't we make
Yeah,
the
it's
topic
all
of
the
next
steps
time?
line by like one step at a time. You need to take care of all these things. Everything needs to fall in its place. I mean, it's your someone's bank, so it's a big responsibility. You need
So
to act
what if I
like
said
one.
this? What if we spend next Monday talking about all the steps you need to go
Perfect.
through to become the bank? And what we're going to do is this. We're going to give out the spreadsheet to all the people that watch it live. So if you're
Perfect.
watching it next week, if you really want the spreadsheet of all the steps you need to do to be the bank, you have to tune in live.
Let's go.
That's
Let's do it.
that's the requirement. All right. So guys, if you want the spreadsheet for all the steps on how to be the bank and sell your own wrap, Prakash and Chai will be giving it out next week, 3 p.m. Arizona time here on the Takeaway, and we'll be giving it out to everyone who's there live. I will be collecting emails from the chat, and Chai and Prakash will send it out live. Guys, you guys are amazing. Thank you so freaking much. Richard Knowles asks, how do uh, I contact Chai and Prakash?
You want me to? I'll text our Instagram and I mean, just Facebook.
Yeah, you guys can message us
Probably the
on
best.
Facebook.
Facebook is a good way.
Yep.
Okay, so Chai's name on Facebook. I'm gonna put both of their names here, so you can just search their names here. Oh, he's giving us his Insta. Here's Facebook. Boom. So Chai and Prakash, that's their Facebook, and here are their Instagrams. Guys, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Viewers of the Takeaway, I'll be here daily at 3 p.m. Arizona time. Catch me talking about real estate, talking about creative finance, and calling your sellers. Later, guys.